Hello again. I hope you enjoyed yesterday's notes on multiplying fractions and mixed numbers. Today we will be discussing dividing fractions and mixed numbers. And just like we talked about how addition and subtraction are kind of related in that you have to find the least common denominator, and then you're either going to add or subtract just the numerators, then finally go back to those whole numbers. Multiplication and division are somewhat connected as well. So yesterday you talked about how when you multiply fractions or mixed numbers, after you ensure that they are written in that improper fraction form, it was quite easy. You cross, reduce, remember looking at those diagonals, and then from there you're going to multiply straight across the top, multiply those numerators, and then straight across the bottom to multiply those denominators. With division, we're going to add a step, but we'll start at the very beginning, and that is to rewrite the mixed number as an improper fraction. So that is something we were familiar with from yesterday. Now the thing that sets division apart from multiplication is actually this next step. It all goes back to that good old multiplicative inverse property that said that if we multiplied a number by its reciprocal, we always end up with the product 1. Well, this is somewhat related. Our process for dividing fractions is to KFC, keep the first, flip the second. Shifted things just a bit. I think I'm back. Flip the second. Change that division and multiplication So that's 10/11ths. And then we're flipping the second. So that's going to be 11/5, and then now times is what's going to go in the middle. So 10/11ths times 11/5. Ooh, I love it when this happens. We get to cross reduce this diagonal basically right on out, because 11 will obviously go into itself once. So across the top we have 10 times 1. Across the bottom we have 1 times 5. And we end up with 10/5, which actually reduces to 2. Great work. All right, a few more examples to look at. But before I go any further with this one, I notice that I do have a whole number. Remember, any whole number can be made a fraction by simply putting it over 1. So 2 wholes looks like 2/1 in fraction form. And from here, we're going to KFC. Division is going to try to be all difficult. Take the second fraction, find the reciprocal. So keep the first 4/5. Flip the second 1/2. Change that division to multiplication. And from here, we're going to do some cross reducing. 2, of course, goes into itself once. It will also go into 4 2 times. So our new products are 2 times 1 and 5 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. 2/5. Now here, from here on out, I did not mention this in my multiplication video, but it is always okay to press pause and do some of these on your own, then press play to actually check your work. And I would prefer you do that because I want you to know that you're on the right track before this video comes to its completion. Also, having said that, it is perfectly fine, and also my hope that you would go back and re-watch this, because I'm not physically in the classroom to answer questions. This is a good time to put in a plug-in for my blog or your blog. Please take some time to post at least one question or comment to your blog today that is also linked to the Weebly page, just so that we can do some communication before I get to class on Friday. All right, that's enough of that. This requires a little more work from us, 2 3/5, because it is a mixed number. So remember, your first step requires a special action. Turn that mixed number into an improper fraction. So we've got 2 3/5. We'll check it. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 3 is 13. So we end up with 13/5 for that first one. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So we end up with 13/4 for that next fraction. So right now it's still division. We haven't reduced it, or flipped it, excuse me, yet. KFC'd it, if you will. But we're just about to do that now. So we're going to KFC. Keep the first. Keep the first one, 13/5. Flip the second one, 4/13. Change that division to multiplication. And I noticed that I can cross reduce, so I was hoping I could get rid of those 13s, and I can. Of course, it goes into itself once, both times. So we end up with 1 times 4 across the top. Of course, that is 4. And 5 times 1 at the bottom, and that is 5. The first step for the next one requires a special action. Turn the mixed number into an improper fraction. So we're going to turn it into an improper fraction. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 3 is 24, so we end up with 24/7. 5 times 3 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18, so we end up with 18/5. Now division's going to try to be all difficult. You got to take the second fraction and find the reciprocal. So KFC. Keep the first. Keep 24/7. Flip. I keep saying that. Flip the second. So flip 18/5 and make it 5/18. change that division to multiplication. And then I look to see if I can cross reduce. Well, thank goodness this diagonal can be reduced. What's the biggest number that will go into 24 and 18? It is 6. 6 goes into 24 4 times and into 18 3 times. So across the top, we have 4 times 5. That is 20. Across the bottom, we have 7 times 3. That is 21. Good work. And then that last one, don't forget to hit pause if you want to do it on your own. Turn 6 into a fraction by putting it over 1. 8 2/5. 5 times 8 is 40. Plus 2 is 42, so 6 over 1. Divided by 42/5. So we have 6 over 1 divided by 42 over 5. But we K, F, C, or keep the first fraction, flip the second fraction, change that division to multiplication. Cross reduce if we can. Sure hope we can reduce that 42, and what do you know? We can. 6 will go into itself once, and into 42 7 times. Across the top, we have 1 times 5, which is equal to 5, and 1 times 7 across the bottom for that denominator, and that is 7 5/7. So, there you have it. That's how you divide fractions and mixed numbers. I hope you enjoyed your notes for today. Feel free to review this and watch this as many times as you need to get to a place where you feel comfortable with it. Please don't forget to post a question or even answer a classmate's question on our class blog, and I will see you soon.